gamers, to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You're of course here with your GBHL channel host, GBHL James.
And GBHL Steve.
And of course we are back for another week's edition of Speak, Friend and Question. Filled out the last one, didn't we, Steve?
We did. Smashed it.
Absolutely smashed it. I'm sure you won't mind, but that's I'm definitely taking credit for that, for the waffling. There are times it comes in useful.
Surprise.
There are times it comes in useful, definitely when you have Speak, Friend and Questions where you've got 10 comments. Are some of those, but of course that was our fault because of course there was a little bit of delay in getting it out, but not this week. This should be up on Sunday morning, which is great. We've got a few more questions this week, Steve.
Yeah, 20 plus questions, so people must have liked it last week.
Must have had a good time, must have enjoyed it. Make sure of course you want to keep this loop going. If you enjoy this interaction based show, it's an opportunity for your GBHL channel host to chat with you guys to chat with us. Make sure you do ask a question next week. Okay guys, so let's get ourselves started. First question is from War.
From War, and he says, "Gah, I was totally so caught up watching the deluge of hobby vlogs." There is a deluge of hobby vlogs. The Fallen Realms video and the Fallen Realms video that I forgot to feed the loop last episode. Kersey's Batman, that's 2 blunders since becoming an SFAQ looper. How to make amends. Yeah, so look what it's put. Read more. Oh, it's a long one. Oh, it is a long one. There we go. Well, the rot stops here. Here are the questions. Here are questions galore to make up for the failings in my life. Question 1. What is that one model that you regret selling, trading, or losing the most in life? For me, it's got to be the special character Goblin King who stood on the pillar, thinking I'd never collect Moria. Oh dear, that mistake still pains me to this day.
Should you do that one first? So yeah, a model that you regret selling, trading, or losing?
Well, I've never done that for the simple reason that I think first and foremost in this hobby I'm a collector. That's how I started in the hobby, so I have got rid of models in the past, but only when there've been multiples. Yep. I've always kept one of everything, so I'm pretty okay on that score. What about you?
I think that I did actually. What do I regret trading? I think that I passed on a couple of Berries.
King.
Candish King. No, I'm not, I don't regret that because I don't see myself ever collecting that army force. And to be fair, you know, like I got offered quite a lot of money for it. It was like 90 quid, but I gave it to you. But you gave me a Witch King on Felbeast. You know, I was quite happy because you wanted that and I wanted that, and you already had one of those, so you know it worked out quite nicely. But I think that there's been a couple of times when I've had Beragons in the past that I then sort of traded on, which then he went out and I wanted to get him again. So he's probably the one that I would probably regret, just because I've then had to go and source him to get him back.
Have you got him again now?
I've got him again now, yeah. I won't mind another one if anybody wants to send me. I've not done that for a while. If anyone wants to send me a Beragon for a mounted conversion, which Steve's agreed to do for me. So
don't know it.
So yeah. So I think that's probably the one. Question 2?
Question 2, he says, was there a phase in life when you hid your hobby out of some misplaced shame? If so, can you recall, e.g. of when you told a porcupine to cover up your nerd-related thing? I think that this might be aimed at me, I think.
Porcupines to do with the hobby?
Yeah, well, if everything was to be believed that I've told my missus when I've been weekends away, I'd be a professional golfer by now. So, it's only recently that it's kind of all come out. Not to the extent, if she's seen my collection, I'd be in trouble. But yeah, she knows kind of now what's going on. She's just not really got any interest in it. Yeah. But it was, yeah. I mean, I've still got pals who don't know. Yeah. Just because it's not. I'm not going to sit there in the pub and go, oh, by the way.
No, it's a different part of your life. I'm exactly the same. So I'm not ashamed, especially now, especially with the the YouTube going on. You know, people tend to, when they do find out about it, because I don't know, you commented in a public group about something that's come up on a news feed and they ask you about it, or I think once I think JT used to have his awkward battles as public, and I shared a video onto there about me unboxing some Ents in a vest and some tree giants from Shadow and Flame. And I think that one went up on the newsfeed, and I got a few questions like, "Oh, so what's this thing that you do?" Yeah. So I do kind of tell people, but it's kind of a progressive telling. So, like you say, you don't kind of get into full blown conversations with people that aren't that part of your life about it, because you know I do it because it's separate from that. I enjoy the fact that it's separate from that, and that's what makes it quite relaxing. Is that it doesn't define who I am. it's just a nice part of my, that's why it's a hobby, it's something on the side. Initially, you know, I think with Jane, and I think it still goes on to a degree, in all honesty, it's not necessarily lying, but there's a management.
Yes.
There's definitely managing of what I tell her and when, rather than, because if you tell her everything, one, she's not interested, but two, it does cause problems. So if Jane, for example, knew right now, like I wouldn't, if she asked me, I'd say we did it, but she doesn't know right now that I'm doing this. If she did, she'd be really peed off about the fact that I'm not doing a bunch of other things that I could be doing if I wasn't doing
doing
this.
painting that.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like coming back and going, well, you've not done this, and this. So there's a certain degree of management with that. Same with like sort of going off to Nova. I think one thing that I did do quite a lot of as well was sort of, I would skip backwards and forwards between, depending on which way James coming at it from, because of course originally with the GBHL podcast, you know, and still now with Hotgates Gaming. So if you really are enjoying the standard of content that GBHL Steve and myself are bringing out, you know, do go and check out Top Table Wargaming and the bits and pieces that Steve's doing, and go and check out Hotgates Gaming. That's where you can support our content. But like originally with the GBHL podcast, it was trying to find a way of making it pay for the time, because it takes time, you know. Editing a video like the first Brawling at Barleyman's, that takes time, it takes a lot of effort.
Worth it.
I hope you guys out there enjoyed it.
Well worth it. I think
you enjoyed
it. It's awesome, yeah.
Cool. I hope you guys out there enjoyed it, and looking forward to seeing it every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Boom. No pressure on ourselves for that one. But yeah, so originally I would kind of come at like look, I'm going away for this weekend because it's business, and coming from that way, and you know, I'm trying to make this work and pay for the time, and look at how many people come to this tournament, and coming at it from that way. And then there'd be other times where, because she wasn't sympathetic towards that I would go more on the kind of that, but look, you know, I don't go out drinking with the lads, this is my kind of downtime, my relaxing. So it's not lying, it's just a kind of management of that. And usually when I tell people about it as well, there's kind of like a spectrum that I go along the story. So I don't just come out and go, I play this. I kind of start off talking about meeting Jamie, who worked for Lego, and he was into this thing, and you know, kind of progress it up from that, and just kind of keep on kind of testing, because ultimately you don't want to be in a situation where people turn around and sort of get, you know, I don't know, where it becomes a not good conversation. Well,
I think it's one of those things, you're either into it or you're not, I think, and if you're not into it, you just don't get it, because I've seen both sides of that, because I was not a war gamer growing up, was never into it. I've literally got into it because I've got my son is 19 years old.
We're new hobby.
Yeah, well, my son's 19 now, and when the Two Towers movies came out, so I was taking him to see the movies because I like the books as a kid. You know, I read the books, and when the movies came out, I went to see the films. But as far as playing games with little toy soldiers that are like Lord of the Rings, that didn't interest me. But my lad really, really wanted to get into it, so I got him into it, and I was helping him paint. Never played the game. And that's how I got into it. I just enjoyed painting.
Your first like proper games was
with
when,
you
when we met, yeah?
Yeah. I'd only painted, but I didn't even know how to play the game.
Yeah.
I had the rule books. I used to buy. I was one of them guys who, when you get into something, I buy everything.
Yeah.
So I had all the rule books. I had all the minis, all the paints. You know, and I was on forums and talking to people. But it was mainly the painting side, the hobby side.
That's right. Yeah.
And it was something that I never knew that I'd like. And it was relaxing. It used to relax me. That's how I used to. That's why I used to do it and carried on doing it.
Probably why we become like good friends in that sense, because you know that's ultimately how both of us have got into this hobby. Is both of us are self-employed. We work really, really hard to try and, you know, pay our mortgages and keep our wives happy, and you know, keep progressing forward in life. Obviously, you've got little ones as well. That, you know, it's kind of, it is important to have that bit of downtime, something that's separate, that's completely different. You know, that's completely different. So it does relax you. And I came into it on the same bit. So with that in mind, because it's so separate from other areas of my life, I'm not ashamed of it anyway. If somebody asks me about it, I'll talk to them about it, tell them what it is. Like, I'm pretty open about it with the lads who work for me and that now. You know, like, I don't go to them and go, oh, I did this, because it's not that, you know, it's not that relationship. They're not part of that world. But if they ask me about it, if they're like, oh, what's going on with this, or for example, for Ardacon, Neil, who works for me, his wife makes amazing cakes, and she's going to be making some amazing themed Lord of the Rings cake, lembas bread, all that kind of stuff over the course of the weekend for you guys who are attending the event. Just another one of those things that's going on at Ardacon. So I'm not ashamed to sort of go up to and go, oh, can you ask, because I'm doing this thing. But at the same time, it's just, it's a management of what you tell people and when. So yeah, Good question.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got question 3.
Question 3 and final question. We all got the hobby surprise of our lives when we saw a plastic modular Lake Town building kit. And it's hinted it may be a one-off. But if SBG team did make another plastic terrain kit for SBG, what would you like to see and why? Bearing in mind that the kit would need to be a financial hit, so it couldn't be something very specific like the Prancing Pony, as no one would buy multiples. As always, thanks for your hard work, dedication and helping fly the SBG flag.
It's an absolute pleasure. Wow, thanks for your contribution as always. Good to have you back in the loop.
Yes.
Terrain, if they're going to make a plastic one. It's an interesting point that he says about, you know, something specific like the Prancing Pony, because you'd want people to be able to buy multiples. But if you think about it, if you got like if you get a
Weathertop.
Or Weathertop, exactly.
Weathertop sold out. And it's gone through the roof price-wise now to buy second hand.
Absolutely. So even though it's kind of specific, you are going to get clubs buying multiples, you can get people buying one, and exactly the same with miniatures. People tend to buy one Goblin King or one Gandalf. You know,
yeah.
I don't know why they're in my mind at the moment, but yeah, you know, people do tend to do that. So I don't think it would need to be something which is too generic. Although I know what you mean, because then you can also sell it to a market outside of strategy battle game.
Yeah, well, I think that's sort of staying true to form for what GW have done with Asciliath ruins, because they can be used for anything. And it is an awesome kit.
And they are used for anything.
Yeah, it's a very good kit. Goblin Town, similar thing. You can use that. You could use Goblin Town kit as Lake Town. A base for Lake Town, very easily. But something that they've not done that I'd like to see would probably be Dale, because again that would be multi-use, some Dale buildings. And as far as he put into maybe a one-off. Do you mean one-off as in they're not going to do any other terrain, or as a one-off that was being shown? I think it is. I think we are going to see it as a kit, definitely.
I think it makes sense. They've started to do things for like terrain for 40k. They've caught up with what's been going on in the market. So they've started doing things like the crates and things that you wouldn't just necessarily use for 40k, that you could use in Infinity and other sort of futuristic games. They've started doing that now. So sort of more generic
stuff that looks cool
across
the board. Yeah.
That, you know, that they've done a good job with, which, you know, isn't just limited to the market that they're looking at. And I think things like Lake Town houses, like ye olde houses that were done well, they know that, you know, there are whole companies that are making their businesses just from that market alone. So you're talking about a niche within that niche anyway. Yeah. So, you know, I'm pretty sure that if they did, I'm sure the Lake Town kit isn't a one-off, but maybe
I think it will depend how well the Lake Town kit does. So if the Lake Town kit does very, very well, we then may see something else like Dale
or like Foreground and you know, on that kind of style of house. If you had a good quality plastic kit that wasn't ridiculously priced, I think they'd be popular, and not just with people who play strategy battle game because it's Lake Town. You know, that's going to be okay for Age of Sigmar Warhammer because it's ye olde, and it's going to be good for historical games, you know, across the board, which is a huge market as well. You know, and other fantasy games as well. So I think that's the kind of idea that will go behind that. So I actually think Lake Town will be a bit of a hit. Thank you very much for your contributions there, War. You've got us through like a quarter of our time allocation already. Next up we've got...
Oh no, this is a conversation.
Oh, is that a conversation?
Yeah, so
okay.
This is part of this.
Right. So we'll just read up because there's a bit of a conversation going on here. We've got War again. War's put on the ETC, so he's referring to the European Team Championship, which is going on. Which I said I didn't know too much about. It was quite interesting because you know a little bit about it. On the ETC, I'm one of the official Canadian reps. My sole job is to plug the ETC within Canada. Well, fantastic, sounds good. So you boys hit the nail on the head. Ardacon was the catalyst, but Ardacon is a pure hobby event. It's to celebrate, promote. I love it that people are telling me what Ardacon's about. I know what it's about. Love of all things SBG. It's the showcase event of the year. It's going to be grand and majestic. It's the Oscars of SBG, quite frankly. Well, that's what we're going for. But the WTC element of it is still supposed to be, you know, a competition between teams from across the globe. ETC is about getting the best 4 players per team in a hall and playing no holds barred games of SBG. It's pure competition, and the goal of that team that wins and walks away with the cup will be the top team in the world of SBG. No tears, no love, just plain all-out war. Even Theoden would revise his opinion and see more reckless hate unleashed with what was visited upon his poor kingdom. Well, I think that in competitive SBG, well, there are holds barred in the game because of course there are rules. That's what no holds barred would mean, no rules. But people who compete. you know, and that's that.
You've either got that streak or
you either compete,
yeah.
you know,
yeah.
you compete or you don't, you know, really, in your kind of way of thinking. So I still think that I understand this idea of doing, you know, and I support it. I think it's great. If anything else is going on, that's good. But don't try and sort of push this idea that the WTC isn't a competitive event. It's an inclusive event. So that's the point. The point is that you aren't sort of just taking out 4. I think what's key for you guys when you're doing the ETC, you know, obviously no one's spoken to me about it, so I don't know too much about it, but it is very much going to depend sort of where you're hosting this, because how are people going to be able to do a couple of international events per year? So you've got to think, if you want it to be the best 4 players, well, you're going to have to be able to ensure that the top 4 people from each country are going to be available and going to be able to afford to go and do that. Otherwise, you're literally just going to get people who are going to be able to go anyway, and in which point it becomes quite similar to Ardicon and the WTC in that way. So, you know, I hope it goes well.
I think it's going to take a lot of planning. It's going to
be
really interesting.
Good luck with it.
I said this last time. It's going to be really interesting to follow, and I will definitely follow it, and I'll be sort of.
I think he's put this point here actually.
Cheering on for our guys.
He's put Canada may be the exception to this, as our team selection will boil down to who can afford to go and who can put the time off. Skill be damned. Absolutely, and that's the thing. Who's going to be able to get the time off? So I think where the host country is, will get a massive advantage. Get an absolutely massive advantage. So if you hold this in the UK, I'd be quite willing to put money down on the UK taking it, and not just because we've got the Great British Hobby League and a mature league, but likewise I think that if you did it in Germany, I think that all of a sudden you would get the top German players who might not have been able to travel.
Yes.
They'll do it. So all of a sudden your idea of who the best 4 players from each country is immediately skewed by availability. Now I understand this goes on everywhere else, so I'm not rubbishing it, but that's definitely something to think about. If that's the angle that it's trying to take.
It's definitely going to be in Europe. I think Germany was one of the places that was mentioned.
Germany's a good shout.
Because it's quite central.
And it's got a good player base, but
yeah, but I think that's a good point. That depending where it is, it's gonna totally depend. Because getting the best 4 players.
Because otherwise, you are just going to get people.
Then people have got to be available, got to be able to afford it.
And what you're also going to get a situation of as well, like with Ardicon already happening, with there's over 55 people have bought tickets from outside of the UK. You know, now. Half of those aren't Irish either. There's a lot of Irish coming over, I still count them as outside the UK, but there's people coming from all over. If then there is then an ETC and you've got Ardicon, that becomes, it's quite...
I don't know when the dates are. Do you know anything about the dates? I'm not sure.
I don't know anything about it. In fact, I mean, the first time...
It's got to be next year, surely. It can't be this year.
It won't be this year.
It's going to be next year.
We've got to do next year. So again, they're going to have to think, because Ardicon is going to happen again. So, I really hope it works out, and yeah, I mean, it will be interesting to see. Like you said, it'd be quite cool to follow.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how the ETC plays out. I know from speaking with other group reps that their respective countries seem quite excited about the prospect of bringing home the cup for their country. Let's be honest, my football skills are naff. This would be my World Cup tournament. Well, hopefully, people will use the Ardicon event and the WTC, because that's what it is, the World Team Championship. Hopefully people use that as an opportunity to try and take home the bacon, for their respective clubs. Although your teams aren't, I think the idea with what they do with Warhammer is like you get all your different teams, but then you get all the players from the British team to play against all the players from the German team, and you do it that kind of way, which I think that
I see now that they made it. I won't say anything now because I don't think it's been finalised, but I've seen the ideas that they've got, and it's quite an interesting way that they're going to do that.
It's
quite good. When they said it, I was like, it's quite fiddly, but it's a good way.
Well, I hope it works out. But in the meantime,
it's good. I think the amount of stuff that's going on for SBG at the minute it's
exciting.
It's all good stuff.
Whilst I put another one here, I might as well read this out. It's put a girl that's just about as good as it gets. I just love being a dad to my little princess. You two have so many amazing and wonderful times ahead. I've said it plenty of times, but hearty congrats to you two. Thanks very much. Very, very chuffed. I didn't say it to you earlier. Jane's got a cracking picture of me. She decided that she wanted to go and buy like the coming home from hospital outfit.
Oh, that's it.
So we weren't doing this. We were going to buy one of those the next to me crib things that line up at the side of the bed.
Yes.
So we're going to go get one of those. She was like, let's go through Debenhams via Ted Baker to go and get like And she's got a picture of me at the till after spending money on things that our little girl is going to wear once.
Welcome to my world, mate.
Exactly, going to wear once. And I'm there, and she's got a picture of me, and the face says it all. As I'm putting my card back in the wallet, there's a face that says, I can't believe I've just spent that much money on something that my baby girl is going to wear probably once.
That much money on something that big.
But then there's also that little face of, I've got this for the rest of my life. And actually there's a little bit of you that's kind of like, I don't really care. You know what I mean? A little bit of you. So yeah, thank you very much, matey. Next up we've got Norwegian Viking, it's Andreas.
Andreas says, have to get the news out, mates. Smiley face. He's talking about when we took the mick about doing a video on every little bit of news.
Do you know what we should do?
It's a nice bit of inter-channel banter.
We should do some Andreas bait on here.
Yes.
You just pretend that we've got like, just give a tiny...
Hot news.
Well, yeah, I was speaking to Adam Trope yesterday and...
he had corned beef sandwich for his lunch. There'll be a video on it.
Brilliant, brilliant. Love you, Andreas, man.
He says, nice to give you a bit of banter. Love you guys. Love you too, man.
Yeah, can't wait to catch up with you.
Yeah, it'd be good to see you, Article.
Okay, next up we've got Mark Furnace. But hey guys, big congrats on the news that you'll be having a baby girl. Thanks, matey. How many dice do you think you own? Is there one dice that's been with you from the beginning that you still use? Do you have specific dice to do specific roles, i.e. a dice that you always use for priority roles? Thanks and happy strategy battle gaming. Good question. Dice, how many do you think you own?
I've got a weird dice fetish. A strange dice fetish to the point where, as most of you know, I've started to design and make my own dice.
At least you don't get high on your own supply. At least you don't like, no, you got like one from the collection or four. At least you don't like, you get these dice made and then you like, I can just see a room in your house where you just like roll around in them, not a ball pit but a dice pit.
Well, I think this all started because I got a few dice made, the campaign dice.
Absolutely.
And they were only,
which were broken.
They were only supposed to be given to.
I rolled them when I needed 6.
Yeah, well, they were only supposed to be offered to players who were playing this campaign that we did a few years ago. But they were showing up on bat reps and stuff. Yeah. And I was just getting message after message of people wanted them, and then I just thought, yeah, alright then, I might as well do them. And then doing the Witch King dice, which are very popular. Yeah. And then obviously the Gandalf dice.
Gandalf's up next.
Gandalf dice are coming.
Gandalf dice is up next.
Can't wait for them, they're going to be awesome.
If you would like to get hold of some Gandalf dice for your strategy battle gaming tables, then do get yourself in touch with Steve. Get onto Top Table Wargaming. I think it's toptablewargaming@gmail.com.
It is, yep.
Boom. So get onto that, guys. That's obviously a great way of helping support Steve. Take the time off to come and do this kind of content. So brilliant. In terms of the number of dice you think you own, no idea?
It's a crazy amount.
I think
it's too many to.
I think I probably own about 50 dice. No, maybe more actually.
Amateur.
Yeah. No, I don't think I own loads. I think I've got 6 Element Games dice. I've got a couple of White Scars dice. I've got about 20 Hotcakes Gaming dice. Become a patron if you want with some of those. What else have I got? I've got obviously the GBHL. Do you know what? Maybe I've got more. I've probably got more like 100. Yeah. I've probably got more like 100. Do you have specific dice to do specific roles?
Not for specific roles. I like to use. See, I've got the Witch King dice, which I now like to use when I'm playing evil. And I also use my campaign dice, the black ones, when I'm playing evil. Then if I'm playing good, I use any of the other colours. And I use One Ring dice quite a bit. Yeah. But I've got some other stuff. I've got Key Variable dice. I've got.
They're good.
Yeah, they're really good.
You shouldn't be able to talk about dice being good, but you know, I don't know whether.
I think it's because they look cool, so you notice it more when the 6 comes up.
Not with those campaign ones. They're those campaign ones.
Well, you say that. Anyone who's watched any of the old bat reps with me will know that my dice rolling is notoriously bad.
Well, they're pretty shy on the bat reps. In real life, though, everybody do not.
Because in real life, I use the ones with magnets in them. No, it's cool. I like dice. It's for me. It's another part of choosing my armour, then I choose the dice. But yeah, I don't have like for specific roles that I can. I don't think, right, well, I need 6 score. I've got that special dice that rolls a lot of 6s.
Well, 3 on this one or no? Because that's basically almost, you know, you could.
Well, I don't think you could. I think as long if you're using generic dice, unless they are weighted dice, it's not true. That's just it's in your head. It's not something else.
I think for myself, similar to you. So like, especially now on the channel, if I'm using, I try and get the guys who are using the evil forces to use the black Hotgates gaming dice and you know, for the forces of darkness. And use the white Hotgates gaming dice for, you know, Force of Light and the good guys. So conscious about those types of things. I'll make little decisions if I'm playing a tournament. Like, I don't know, if you've got like Legolas and Legolas is in the charge and there's another hero in there and I've got some green dice, I'll use the green dice for Legolas maybe, or
you start making associations though.
Yeah, or I use the red dice for Erkenbrand because of red shields, you know, making little decisions like that, but not so much I need this dice. I've always had a feeling in my mind, I always feel like the Element Games dice always feel like they roll really well for me.
No, they don't feel like it, they do. They roll a lot of
sixes. I think they are broken. But then I tested that out through sheer fear, you know, of because some people might want to cheat. I don't want to cheat, but I rolled them over and over and over again on the carpet down there underneath where you are now, the rug. I've actually had them out and rolled and rolled and rolled, and they don't. But I think it's because you notice them and it feels like you do it at key times. But with any dice on the channel, I don't know if you noticed, but there'll be times where I think it's just because you build it up. You can build it up 6 times out of the 6 times, and of course the one time you do it, because it feels so epic, it creates a feeling that you forget the other 5 times you did that and it didn't work. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's a bit of an element of that. Yeah. In terms of, is there one dice review from the beginning that you still use?
I have. I've got some Gondor, Tree of Gondor dice, the grey and black ones with the gold logo. I got them. I can't even remember where I got them, but I've had them from when I used to use Gondor. I don't know where I got them. I've never seen them anywhere. I've never seen anyone else use them. I've never seen them anywhere else. Don't know where they're from. No. They're not from the, was it Hero Clicks?
I know what you mean, yeah.
Because they're blue.
They're blue.
Yeah, I don't know where they're from. But they're really nice dice.
Yeah, nice
and,
dice. Very pretty.
Yeah, I've had them since I started playing. They're the first dice that I used.
I think my first dice were the, really with the Element Games dice. I think even if you watch the first pack rep with me and Jamie, do I have Element Games dice? I can't remember. Can't really remember. Possibly. Next up we have Irex, which is Adam.
Is it? That makes sense.
I watched your Gundabad blog.
Yes, I did. I watched it as well. I'm going to copy that paint job of it. He says, "I bet Adam could build a great Rowan house if Steve showed him how."
Let's get it arranged. You only charge £100 an hour.
Yeah, let's have a Rowan house off.
Right. To be fair, my father-in-law, I just said before, my father-in-law's been down into the cellar to get a washing. Luckily he's not broken any of your terrain, but he's put his foot on one of my burnt houses. I know, I'm really sad. I know, it's very, very sad. You have to build a new one.
Well, I've got lots of stuff to come, because there was lots of stuff that I've not been able to do because of scouring, etc., and getting things ready for that. There's loads of tutorials and other things coming. Yeah. Probably on both channels now, and you'll see everything that I do pretty much on Hotgates and the back reps and things like that. Absolutely. We've got a good sort of cross. So Hotgates Gaming, of course, for your sort of entertainment, battle report videos, the high quality production in that sense. Although we, are introducing and have been even with Speak Funny Question for a little while now, just trying to raise the standard of what we're doing across the board. If you want to get behind that and you enjoy seeing the higher production videos, remember there is a lot of time that goes into that, and we're only going to be able to afford that time if you get yourself onto Hotgates Gaming Patreon, or you're buying products, terrain from Steve, or coming to our tournaments and the like. So just bear that in mind. So absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Adam. Next up we got Matt M. He's put, "Hello guys. Come on, Steve, let's hear your Chewy impression." It's not good. Why not? He's such a killjoy. Come on. £100 I'll do it. £100? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Instead of £100, because people will be like, well, I'm just getting a Chewy impression for that. Why don't... It's a good impression. Gandalf dice. When are they coming out? I'm hoping they'll be with me in the next couple of weeks. Next couple of weeks? They've all been ordered, so... How many have you ordered? Enough. Enough, right. Yeah. Have you got a number so that we can say that if they sell out, you do it? Ooh, I took a lot of pre-orders. I can't remember how many pre-orders I took, roughly. Is it more than 1,000? No. Is it more than 500? If they all sell out, which is how many? In the week. Right, okay. I reckon there's probably about... I think pre-orders wise, we're talking around the 200 mark. Okay. And I ordered 300. So there's 100 left. I didn't overall. I wish I would have done.
Okie dokie. Well, look at that, guys. That effectively is 10 sets. Most people buy dice in 10. So if Steve, in this next week, so you've got from this Sunday until next Sunday, if Steve manages
This
to
is going to be a massive anticlimax when I do it.
Sometimes these things are. What, the Chewy impression? I thought the Chewy impression was great. There we go.
It's not great. It's built.
Well, let's do it up until the Thursday. It is good. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was good. Even for myself.
I'm going to have to wear an outfit or something.
If you want to do that, that's fine.
Try and make it something.
If you want to do that, that's fine. So remember, we film Speak Friendly Questions on Thursday. So if you get pre-orders into toptablewargaming@gmail.com, if you can get them in before Thursday from this Sunday for the dice, all you effectively need is 10 pre-orders of 10 dice. He'll do his Chewy impression. So how good is that? Get it done, guys. Get on it. He's put, do you guys ever compete in X-Wing tournaments? How popular is it in the UK? Living in a smallish state like Wisconsin means it's hard to find Hobbit players, but X-Wing is very popular and easy to find people. I would love to see some more X-Wing content every once in a while. Your older back reps are very enjoyable to watch. As always, keep up the great content. Well, you've not played X-Wing really, have you?
Not yet, no.
But you are going to be?
Yes. Yes.
Steve is going to be playing, so I've got loads of X-Wing. It's a fantastic game, I agree with you. It's a good game. It's one of those that when you play it, you remember what a good game it is, but when you are setting it up, you're thinking this is a bit of a pain, just because it's my own fault, it's organisation, it's the fact that everything is still in the start box basically, and I just take that and it's just got loads of stuff, loads of tokens, and it just feels like it takes a little while. However, because I've got all the stuff, there's absolutely no reason why we won't be able to do a series. I know that Jamie likes X-Wing and he goes to a couple of the tournaments, and there's quite a few people in the Great British Hobbit League. I think Sam Page has just been to one, there's a couple of guys who really do like X-Wing, but I've not been to any tournaments yet. Owen Wright obviously likes X-Wing quite a lot, but we would love to do a pilot series over on Hotgates Gaming for X-Wing, just like I have done with Guild Ball, which has worked, and just seeing what kind of support we can get from the X-Wing community to build up that idea of trying to release regular content that's a good standard. And of course, if you get the support, then you can build it up. So for example, with the Guild Ball guys, the Guild Ball videos on Hotgates Gaming are more popular than the SBG battle reports. I think a lot of people come to this channel for SBG, but do remember, if you want to see pretty much weekly battle reports, go and check out Hotgates Gaming for that. But interestingly, most of the Patreons, even though you get smaller views, the Hobbit videos have a greater amount of interaction, so more comments and likes, even though they got a lot less views, and most of the patrons are Hobbit SBG players, so that means that you feel more inclined that, well, hang on, they're paying for this content, let's try and make
so you want to do that.
So if the Guild Ball community, of course, came out and supported that content a bit more, then we'd be able to do that. And it'd be interesting to do the same for X-Wing. If people want to see X-Wing and they like our series and want to see it going, if there is a bunch of people effectively going on that board of directors by contributing even $1 a month, then of course you're going to be more inclined to do X-Wing. So we'd love to do that, wouldn't we, Steve?
Yeah.
We'd love to do that. I mean, I think X-Wing's pretty popular in the UK. It's very, very popular.
A lot of people play it at the club, and what's the one, Armada.
Yeah.
All that. So a lot of people play at our club. So I think we'd always be all right for.
It's very, very popular. I think it's in the top 5 most popular games in the world, isn't it? Let alone in the UK.
Star Wars, isn't it? They've got a good game behind it.
Keep plugging with SBG though in your area, because what you'll find is that a lot of people have Lord of the Rings, but because there's an impression that's been created over the last 10 years, probably that the game has sort of had dwindled amount of support, or less people play it, that people don't really talk about the fact that they have armies. I mean, everyone's coming out of the woodwork, so the best thing to do is get yourself onto these population finders on like the One Ring and the Facebook groups and the like.
I'll go to GWs, even if there's no players there, ask the managers to start asking around, because your managers will know who plays what and who's got what.
Absolutely.
And just get a game going, even with a manager in there, and get people noticing it and having a look.
Support your hobby. So next up we've got David Whittaker.
David Whittaker says, clever hint with the background colour, congrats on your little girl.
It was clever. I can't believe only one person got it. It was too clever for strategy battle games, it seems.
Too red.
It was too red. It was as baby pink as I could get it.
Do you have any ideas for a name? What Middle-earth character would you name her after, if you had to?
Okay, so
it's easy for me.
Oh, it's easy for you because you're Rosie.
It's Lily Rose, yeah.
Yeah. Because well, your little girls are named after flowers.
Yes, Lily Rose and Daisy May.
There you go. Beautiful names. Jane really likes the name Lily, and Poppy actually. But what we've decided, when we came back from finding out as a girl, and we were at Jane's mum and dad's. I didn't think we would tell anyone, but Jane had obviously had the conversation with her mum. So when we said it was a little girl, Jane's mum says, "Oh, are you still thinking about that name that you told me about?" And Jane kind of looked at me, realising that her mum had put her in it. And she was like, "Well, what do you think, Jane? Like, which one?" I was like, "Well, what have you said to your mum? Well, you know, like the ones that we talked about." So I came out and said it, and her mum and dad were there. And after saying a couple of the names that we were thinking of, I've decided that I don't want to tell anybody the names, because you realise that what other people think really doesn't matter. It really, really doesn't matter. And what you don't want to do is experience. Because if you told them when the baby's there, go, "This is my baby, such and such," oh, isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
But when they think that they can have some kind of an opinion or input on it, you know, and they pull a face, you're like, "Do you know what? Like, I'm dying to swear now, even thinking about it." I'm like, pull a face. Don't try and take that away. I love that name.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So we're not telling anybody. And to be fair, we might meet our baby girl.
May change
our mind.
Yes, you may change your mind a couple of times before she arrives.
Absolutely. So we're not telling anybody. And that also kind of impacts a little bit on this second question.
Second question.
Obviously, we're going to call our little girl Sarah.
Oh, right, I'm looking at a question on it.
no.
I'm thinking, well.
He said, what Middle-earth character would you name? Because one of the names for a little girl, I know. Don't worry, it's not something obvious. It's not something obvious.
Right.
So, but I don't want to talk about it. So yeah, I mean, it's a possibility, and maybe you'll find out January 23rd-ish, around that kind of time. Yeah. Make sure you tune into the GBHL podcast.
He's bringing his camcorder with him, so, you know.
Can you imagine? Live birth. You can do it on YouTube. There's a woman who did a live birth.
The GBHL birth.
There was a woman who did a natural birth, and she just went to like a stream and gave birth in a stream and filmed it. And it's like one of the most viewed videos on YouTube. Maybe she's onto something. A full natural birth, no drugs, just a natural birth in a stream. It's crazy. And your next question?
Oh, that's not a question. We were talking about the date of the doubles. So he said Hobbit doubles is September 17th, 18th, and will surely be an epic weekend. 40 tickets sold and loads on sale, so get on it. I think we pretty much what we said last week. I'll try and get a ticket and go. But it's going to be a last minute thing, but worst case we'll try and go down on the Saturday and just have a drink with everyone. And
yeah, it'd be nice to go down, catch up, hear what's going on,
support what's going on, yeah.
Next up we've got Bozzawaza. He's put fluffy 800 point list for Mr. Finnegan. It's the White Riders, that's the name of the list. He's got Gandalf the White on Shadowfax. You got Faramir with heavy armour, lance, shield, and armoured horse. Knights of Minas Tirith, Knight of Minas Tirith with banner and shield. 8 Knights of Minas Tirith with shield. Captain with horse, shield and lance. 6 Knights with a shield. Beregond with a horse. 7 Citadel Guard with longbow and horse. 1 Citadel Guard with longbow, spear and horse. Put some Citadel Guard in for some cheeky skirmish ability with Gandalf. I actually think that's probably the way to go with if you want to do an all cavalry Minas Tirith list.
I think you need it, yeah.
You need to have the ability to hit your opponent when they can't hit you. If you're relying on you just going in and doing the charging, you're not able to.
And take the sort of attention from your big heroes being shot at.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. You can pick what parts of your enemy line and parts of your enemy force that you want to target your bow fire, so you can avoid your enemy bow fire and target bits where they can't and the like, unless they're set up a particular way. Or you can load it so that you're effectively your 9 shots there. Just looking at it, you can load it so your 9 shots are focusing at like 3 of their shots and the like. So I think that's actually a pretty good way to go. Actually, 800 points.
He's not going to do the conversions though. He won't. He's lazy, that Jay Finnegan. He will not convert.
So maybe he'll come to you.
He can come to me only once, but I won't do either.
You're too busy with the stuff that I've got lined up for you. So yeah, good list there, Bozzawaza. Thanks very much, Mr. Finnegan. If you're listening, check that out. Next up, we've got Tim Hines.
Tim Hines says, "Hello. My question this week is: when a troop carries a banner and is in base-to-base contact and dies, the modelling contact may pick up the banner. Does the same rule apply to anyone carrying a war horn?"
No.
No, unless it says it in the rules. It doesn't say it about Warhorn in the rules. It says it about banner.
Yeah.
Then no.
I think that would make banners a little bit better if you could pass them.
Horns.
Horns a bit better.
Maybe it was just something that was meant to be. Things like that were meant to be, and it was just not put in. I don't know. We'll see.
Something to think about
in the revised rules.
IREX.
IREX. Where's IREX come from?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's our question to you. Irex, what's that come from? So cheers for that, Tim Hines. Next up, we've got God of Gods. He's put, hey GBHL, been months since I commented, haven't quit the hobby, but I've not been doing anything with my figures. Well, good to have you back. Welcome back to the loop. Congrats on the kid, James, and keep up all your good work. Thank you. Hopefully when winter starts, aka my hibernation starts, I'll pull the hobby back up. Hope there are new things coming with the hobby. There are.
Yes, lots and
hang
lots.
On, are you literally just back and haven't caught up with anything? Because if you are just back and haven't caught up with anything,
this is the best day you've ever had.
You missed out on a lot. Get watching the backlog. Loads have been going on. We've got loads to look forward to. I know they plan on new releases, etc., but I haven't seen much.
There's been quite a bit. There's been quite a bit.
Yeah,
it's quite a bit. Check back on all the videos.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we can say here we know that Dane, foot mounted on pig,
awesome,
definitely coming. We know that we got Iron Hills Dwarfs. We've seen sculpts. They look great. Good Bad Berserkers. We've seen them. Basically, everything that you've seen in the Battle of Five Armies, even in the extended, that you didn't see released before, you're going to see.
You're going to get a profile for.
Oh yes, you are. Hopefully a model for as well.
The stuff so far has just been.
It looks amazing. You're going to get good and evil, aren't you? I'm not an evil player. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't excite me. I think I'm just going to go for the dwarves. I think.
I'm going to get everything. I'm going to support my hobby.
So am I. Next up, we've got the Commander Kaiser.
Commander Kaiser says, "Hey guys, on the Friday of Ardacon, I can be down at any time. So if you need any last minute help, let me know."
Do you know what? What a legend! And can I just another shout out to the community, because I've had that kind of message so much, and it's really sweet. Like it really is. Not to be condescending about it, but it is.
No,
really,
it's good. I got so much help at mine. Mine's nowhere near.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
But I mean, obviously, yeah, because like you helped me. That you said from the beginning, I'll help you out. And,
yeah, absolutely. And you're helping me with this.
Yeah, but people who were just playing, and at the end on the Sunday, it was like packing away. They're like, I'll get some tables away, and everyone.
We've got a wonderful community.
Awesome.
If you've not been to a tournament, come down. We've got great bars, wonderful people. It's very inclusive, as it should be. And yeah, the attitude of people. I mean, even I put an interesting hobby fact, because I calculated how much terrain I needed for the remaining tables that have come in.
It's a lot.
It's like over 400 trees, which is crazy. Which I think I've sorted, by the way. But loads of people got on that post and was like, "Look, contact me. I might be able to bring a box of this, a box of that." Yeah, I will be in touch, because I mean, I won't plan for those things being there, just in case someone does forget it. You don't want there to be an empty table because you're relying on that from other people. But at the same time, it helps. It means that there'll be tables which have got a little bit more than what they would have done otherwise. So massively appreciated. I think I've got a couple of solutions, but I will be in touch. Thanks very much. And exactly the same, in terms of helping out. It's great.
He also says, "I'm staying at the McCure. Seems less hassle that way. It means I don't have to have far to stagger back." That's true.
And I absolutely recommend, for anybody who hasn't bought tickets so far, I mean, you've got lots of options in and around Manchester, of course you do. The Mercure is a 4-star city centre hotel. Even with our great discounts, it isn't a cheap hotel. It's more doable, absolutely, but it isn't a cheap hotel. But being on site, I think, is going to make a huge difference to your experience, a huge difference. If you're on site, you are going to get the buzz constantly. When you're having drinks in the bars, when you're getting your breakfast, it's just going to be, you are immersed.
There's going to be a lot of like-minded people.
Absolutely.
You're going to be there with them constantly.
And it's going to make it easier with you. These events are going to go on quite late. It's a round calendar. So staying is good. By the way, if you were having any problems last week in terms of booking in, last week was the first time that we've had sort of a ton of issues with booking in with the Mercure, mainly because my direct contact, who is actually dealing with Ardacon specially, it's her job is to deal with our event. She was on holiday, and whoever had been sort of looking after it in the meantime didn't have a clue, but that's all sorted now. And if you're onto the Ardacon Facebook page, there is a number for Vicky, so contact her directly and you'll get everything that I promised in terms of discounts, and you won't have any problems at all. She'll look after you.
Okay. He also says, "I suppose this is an Ardacon question, but equally applies to any tournament. The armies you would be particularly glad to see on the table? ? Perhaps because they aren't common, and on the flip side, any armies you are sick of seeing. So what armies do you want to see? What armies do you wish you'd see more of?"
I would like to see more. I'd like to see more Milk Ranger army.
Yes.
That'd be quite cool. Like just a full army of that. I think that would be pretty cool. But and not terrible either. You know, but I think that'd be quite. But I think some of the old metal armies you don't see so much of are always cool to see. So when you see like a full Mahood army or a full Candish army or a full Dunlending army, or we've seen a few more of them coming at the moment. Full fiefdoms armies always look cool.
His army was nice.
Wonders, Coolamans.
His army was nice.
So whenever I read his name out, I couldn't help but do it. Like, Wonders, Coolamans. So yeah, I think some of those old metal armies I really like to see, particularly good armies.
For me, it's the armies that you tend to not see, not particularly because they're hard to get, but because people don't think they're very effective.
Yeah.
So it's one of the reasons why, although the ineffectiveness is debatable because J. Clare's done very, very well with Lake Town, but that's one of the reasons why I'm doing Lake Town. You don't see very many Lake Town. I think J. Clare's is the only Lake Town army that I've seen.
I've seen one or two. You had some Lake Town anyway, didn't you?
Yeah, but it was mixed in with Mirtwood.
Yeah, but you had some.
I have a pure Lake Town army. I have now.
No, and I suppose that's true because Damien, he's got some.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think there's lots of people who've got some because they were quite expensive.
Yeah.
Worked out £5 a model, and from a fine cast perspective, they weren't fantastic.
I'm looking forward to
tough to work with initially.
They're not great.
Yeah. So this is what we've got to look forward to with, of course, Middle-earth strategy battle gaming and Forge World. The resin is going to be infinitely better than what we've been used to.
So on the flip side of that, armies you're sick of seeing.
I don't like seeing. We're seeing a lot of dual fell beasts at the moment, double fell beast. We're seeing a lot of Goblin Town with shamans, lots of Goblin Kings. We see loads of them. We see a few Rivendell Knight. We don't see loads of Rivendell Knight. You usually get one or two an event, and they're pretty good. I don't like your good and bad Black Shield sort of shade based armies. Don't like seeing those.
I don't mind them. The ones I'm sick of seeing is the multiple fell beasts, because it's just like
multiple fell beasts.
Multiple fell
beasts. It's quite dominant in the meta when you go. But
the game's quite boring. I mean, I've used multiple fell beasts myself. I used it the last one I was at, but it was 1,000 points. I had a lot more with it.
Well, 1,000 points, you're likely to come across double casters, even in a good force. So
when was the Desolation of Stockport, where you had similar groupings to what they did at the Plantier, and I got in the top group.
Oh, did you? That must have been grim.
And I was the only one without a fell beast.
Yeah.
I had Goblin Town.
Yeah. You managed that
because I nearly swore then. I'm awesome. I got in the top group, done really well day one. Got in the top group, but then obviously it was me and everyone else had fell beasts.
Yeah.
And it just oh no, I think James Long was in. Did he have a fell beast?
No, did he have Mirkwood?
No, James Long. He had his Haradian Golden King, and I think
he
did have a fell beast as well.
Did he?
I think he did have a fell beast.
No, he did. Oh, unless he had Shadow Lord and fell beast.
Shadow Lord, I think he had Shadow Lord. Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
But yeah, I know that when I looked at the groupings, I was like, oh, I'm the only one here with that fell beast. I'm going to do great today. Didn't win a game.
So probably like to see a few less of those, to be honest, as it stands. King Bonsai puts, darn it, I missed the last week friend in question. Well, quite a few people did, for obvious reasons. Now I've broken the loop. No. Well, do you know what? I mean, if the loop breaking is due to issues at our end, like technical issues, then, we forgive you. But when we get them out on a Sunday, we expect you to put a comment in, because you've got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday morning GMT to get those in. So we forgive you. Well, the question for last week was, how is your Nova prep coming during some? So my Nova prep is going pretty poor. By that, I have not played a competitive game of SBG probably since Scotland, Stirling. November last year. That's the last time I played to try and win games. And then before that was Nova, and before that was Longbottom. I have not had any practice games. I have 4 Rivendell Knights that I need to paint, which I haven't started, so that's going quite poor. I suppose I can give a shout out to Kev Lawrence of Shadow and Flame, because he has contributed to my only Nova preparation so far.
Contributed, or he is your only Nova preparation?
He's my only Nova preparation so far, because he did that beautiful. If you've not checked out that army showcase video of my Rivendell Knight army, do go and check it out.
That's cool.
I'm very proud of the Rivendell Knights, how they turned out, but it's very interesting to see just like what he's done using the same colour scheme. just seeing which areas of it are that little bit better. It's small things, and they all add up. And I look at it and I go, oh, I like that. I need to steal that and do that. So I need to learn to paint jewels with his armour. He's got very clear, defined lines. He leaves the black spaces in between things.
I struggle with that,
which I think is really interesting. I could do that. It's just knowing to do that. I think I think we're so reliant on painting an area, washing, dry, that kind of. He leaves defined.
Does he leave it or does he paint it on after?
I think he leaves it. His faces are incredible as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, in terms of Nova prep, absolutely nothing. We're hoping today to film a Adventures for Nova battle report for Hotgates Gaming, where I'm going to actually you're going to bring a reasonably filthy Goblin Tail list.
It's not that bad. It's alright.
Okay. So my Riverdale Knights have got a little bit of practice, so you know, if you want to go and watch like entertaining themey battle reports, then go and check out the Adventures and Arda series on Hotgates Gaming, because that's what they're for. There's loads of cool scenarios and things. You know, we've got Amon Hen, we've got the Battle of Gobel and Calamon with the Mahud and all that kind of stuff, which is cool, versus Gondor. We've got one of my favourite videos still is the scenario that we did inside Meduseld. What was it called? Death of the King?
Yeah. Or To Kill a King?
No, not To Kill a King, that's the scenario, isn't it? But yeah, go and check those out. This battle report won't be like that. It will be, I'll still try and film it in a cool way and edit and high production value, but it will be a bit more of a sort of competitive battle report. So that will be some of my only preparation. I've got a couple of games next week as well, I think. Lucas Whitcroft Wright wants to come up before Longbottom. Although I've got to go and check out the Mercure Hotel on the Thursday, if you want to come with me. Just check out the final layout, make sure that we're really happy with it, actually seeing it laying out, making sure that there are definitely enough tables and they're exactly where we want them to be.
Has it got some food while there?
Probably, yeah. So that's my preparation, and Longbottom will be my preparation, and then it will just be see how we get on. So thanks very much for that, King Bonsai. You've done another one here as well. What has he put?
He says, I have two main armies. I'm assuming this is for Nova as well. I have two main armies, Army of Throw and 500 points Gundabad.
Oh, nice.
So they have nailed me with the Iron Hills and Gundabad expansion. Looking forward to the Iron Hills army and Gundabad expansion. Golb and Berserkers smash during sun. Yeah, they do look awesome. They do look good.
They do look good. It's quite nice as well that you've got two sort of competing armies sort of facing off, which is pretty cool. Next up we've got George Harold. He's put, I asked this last week but I missed the deadline, so I'll ask again. There seems to be a general consensus throughout the whole GBHL community that Fell Beasts are underpriced. Do you think that Fell Beasts would still be considered underpriced if there were no named ring raves? 50 points for a Fell Beast for a generic ring rave actually sounds pretty fair. Perhaps there should be one price for generic raids and a higher price for named raids. One last thing, thank you so much for all the hard work you and the other GBHL hosts put into this awesome channel. Absolute pleasure. That's a really interesting point.
I still think it's too cheap. I still think it's too cheap. You're getting a monstrous amount. There's no other thing that does what Fell Beast can do for 50 points in the game. Nothing. And then it's like you pointed out last week, why is there that massive jump just to get one defence or one strength?
Yeah,
it's massive. It's a massive leap.
It should be 70 points for a normal Fell Beast, 75 points for a Horned, and 75.
Just makes you think: was it intended to be 50 points?
I think it was.
But how then do you justify that massive jump?
Well, I think that those might.
Defence.
Did they come later? So did a Fell Beast? Guys out there who are involved in the hobby, let us know in the comments below. Were Fell Beasts originally? Was there no Horned and no Armoured Fell Beast? Was it just Fell Beast, and did they come out when only generic raids and the Witch King existed? If so, I mean, I still think they're too cheap. They should be 70 points.
Yeah, it's still too cheap. Because they don't. The fact that you've not got the name Wraith with their special rules, that's not what the issue is. It's the fact that you're paying 50 points
to be able to fly.
Yeah.
So you're outmanoeuvring your opponents.
Brutal power
attacks, knocking down +1, monstrous stats. So you're paying to increase your strength.
50 points.
Yeah, I mean
our banner's 25 points.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. What would you rather have, a Fell Beast or 2 banners? That's not a fair comparison, to be honest, but yeah, you know what I mean. So thank you very much for that, George. Good contribution, and thanks for the kind words as well. Next up, wow, Thomas Minard. Not heard from you for a long time, buddy. Welcome home.
Is it me?
Yeah.
He says, hi guys, I've been out of the hobby for a good long time because of GCSEs and the like.
I hope it went
good
well.
Man. Anyway, I was wondering what you thought of my 800-point Numenor list. It starts off with Elendil with Horse and Shield as his leader, 7 warriors of Numenor with spears and shields, 4 with shields, 1 with spear, shield and banner. Isildur, Horse, Shield and the One Ring, 8 warriors with spears and shield, 4 warriors with shields. A captain on a horse with lance and shield, 6 warriors with bows, 6 warriors with spears and shields, and the same again, 44 models, 12 bows, 10 might. I think it's a good list.
Well,
if I was building a list at 800 points, there wouldn't be much different than that.
What?
You put in what you've got.
I was going to say, to be perfectly honest, you've not got a lot of choice when it comes to building a Numenor list. You know, Captain of Numenor is very good. Horse, Lance and Shield, I think, for the points. I think Captains of Numenor are great, actually. You can spam a Captain of Numenor list on its own. I'd be quite interested to see how it did. You know, I think that they're pretty decent. I think the one area that I would look at is, here we go. So 7 warriors, Numenor with spears and shield, 4 Numenor with shield, 1 with shield. I think what I would probably do is look at how my battle lines are. So you've got the guys with bows have no shields, so they're probably going to be in a back rank. What I would probably do is in some of your warbands where you have more spears and shields than shields, even that out. So if you've got a warband of 12, you might take 6 with spear and shield, so that's your back line, and then 6 with just shield, which is your front line. So you see in this one, he's got 8 with spear and shield.
Yeah, well, I think, yeah.
And he's got 7 with spear and shield.
And then he's got, well, I think what he's done looking, because that's probably, I tend to write my list in this funny way as well. So I'm thinking of it the way you're thinking of it, but the list doesn't.
Yeah, but it might not
tell you that.
But that's not what. Yeah, so he might rearrange it to go like that.
But then in
even that being
scenarios where you can't come on all at once, that's going to mess up.
Well, yeah. So I'd try and get it so that you've got 12 there. Split those 12 across all of the warbands, definitely. But I would take away some of the spears from some of your warriors with spears and shields, because you've got a massively higher ratio of those. Give the spears to the guys with bows, because they're going to be in the back rank. So that's what I would probably do. So you've got your front rank of shields, you've got a rear rank of spear and shield, or bow and spear. So that's the only tweak.
That's exactly what I say. I've got a hobby vlog going up tonight.
Well,
I discuss why I do it, and I done it with my Mirkwood and Lake Town. So I had Lake Town survivors at the front with shields, because they're low fight, and they were backed up by Mirkwood with bows and spears for that reason. It's dual purpose back rank.
Dual purpose back rank. Yeah. So you're getting your shooting, they've got effectively a barrier in front of them, protecting from that, which is slightly higher defence, but then they're also capable of supporting when the battle lines clash. So that's probably the minor adjustment I would make to what is a list that you can't really do too much different than that. So thanks very much for that, Thomas Maynard. Great to have you back. So next up we've got Ben Mack. He's put, my last name is a nightmare. Just say Mack. Well, luckily I'd read that just beforehand, which is good. It's interesting to hear you guys talk about 1,000+ points. War of the Ring, I barely remember as a way of playing larger games, mainly because I wasn't a fan of the model trays. I feel there is a great foundation with the warband structure to use this in a similar way the 40k units do it. It's not quite there yet, but my question is, would you guys like to see larger armies raw format for those big battles to replace War of the Ring?
I've played War of the Ring once or twice. I wouldn't be able to pick it up and play it now because it was that long ago. I don't remember the rules. I've got the rule book. If I'm totally honest, I'm more than happy with the SBG rules.
Yeah.
Totally, you know. I wouldn't be against it as such. You know, I wouldn't say, oh, we don't need this, blah blah blah. But I'm not going to lose any sleep if we don't see a mass battles rule set, simply for the reason that it would cost an absolute fortune for new players to get into the game.
Yeah.
And that's it really. But I'm quite happy with how SBG plays.
Yeah.
As it is.
There you go. There you go, everybody.
The next question is from the Strategy Battle Gamer. He says, "Hello GBHL hosts. Hope everything is going well."
I hope you're well, young man.
My question this week is, what can be a suitable dismount for Morgul Knights? Could Black Numenorian warriors work, or Castellans of Dol Guldur be used? And congratulations to James on having a little baby girl.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time and effort. Hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great day also.
Yeah, great to hear from you, matey. Dismounts for Morgul Knights, people tend to use Black Numenorian warriors, and I use Castellans of Dol Guldur.
Yeah, I've had Marvel Knights sat in a box for a couple of years waiting to be painted and used, and I'm one of them guys. I bought double, so I could chop them off.
Yeah.
I'll convert them to use. But yeah, I mean, any of them, as long as your opponent knows and you've not got other Black Numenorian.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's about
thing.
making it clear for your opponent.
Yeah.
So if you've got Castellans of Dol Guldur in your force and you're taking Morgul Knights, and then you use Castellans of Dol Guldur as your dismounts, it could be confusing for your opponent, and you don't really want to do that in a game of SBG. You want to keep everything as clear as you possibly can. Same with Black Numenorians. But if you don't, then of course I think that they're suitable, and hopefully that's one of the miniatures that, or one of the profiles, of course, that we get a miniature for, because there is a big long list of them.
Awesome.
So there we go, that is another week's edition of Speak, Friend and Question, your Middle-earth Strategy Battle Gaming Q&A show. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to get your questions in before Thursday to ensure that they get answered next week. Don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe.
Support your Hobbit hosts in the links below.
Make sure you check out our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter as well.
Support your hobby.
And happy strategy battle gaming.